and everything in the world. And I love Mike because he's that old radio school guy, and I love what he does. And he was sick the last time he was on. Nancy, I want to have you on Mike's show. He's booked way ahead of time too. And then we have Nonstop Terry Marie from California as usual. And then this girl is new, Yellow Parker. So she's interesting to me. There's something about her that I find fascinating. She just like chimed in at the last minute. But we'll go this here. We got to start with ladies first. So, Howard, no, I'm only kidding. So, we're going to start with Nancy Potter first. Mike, hold on for a minute. I want you to get a little bit of what Nancy's gone through this past week being from Tennessee. I mean, being from Louisiana, but being from Houston, Texas, and being in
I'm taking
Nashville the
notes
whole
as we
time.
speak, by the way, guys.
Yeah, I know
I'm taking
you
notes as
are.
we speak.
I know you are. So, Nancy, let's talk about this week. Let's talk about this book. Let's talk about why this is best-selling author and everything like that. And we're going to show a couple photos. See, she's smiling already. Because if it weren't for Howard, we wouldn't have made you look good. Not me. It was Howard doing that.
Fair.
So let's talk about that. Start there.
Well, my book is based on the life of my great grandfather. It's filled with family lore. It's fiction based on fact. I like to call it a fictionalized biography. And Barber's Cut is actually a place in the Houston Ship Channel that it was his brainchild, a way to get the ships to be able to unload their cargo in half the time it took to get up to the port of Houston. So he's still known for that, and it's still named after him. And the book spans 1894 to 1931. And it starts on a flatboat on the Mississippi River where he grows up as a boy, and he becomes one of the wealthiest men in the South. It's quite the journey, full of ups and downs and crazy relatives, and everyone who's reading it is loving it.
And that's a good thing. So, Howard, let's talk about here. Yellow, you're coming up next, so be ready. But, Howard, let's talk about getting a chance to meet Nancy and all the fun that we had this weekend in Nashville, Tennessee, over near Vanderbilt University, and what we were doing, and get into what room you are, what you're wearing, and let's talk about that fashion show.
Well, I'm in the guest bedroom, just got my normal clothes on like normal, but
You are not normal, Howard. You can't even say that.
It's normal for me. It's normal for me to do that. I mean, when I went to the event, I had like 5 or 6 jackets, and I changed every few minutes just so that I looked different. But Nancy was fun. She danced with me. We sang a little bit, did a little Tom Jones routine. She's kind of funny, I tell you. So was the boyfriend too. I mean, it was a fun event. So
she is funny. Yeah.
Well, so just because I write historical novels that are serious doesn't mean I can't be fun.
That's right.
No, and that's definitely the case. So, Yelly, let's talk about this. Because since we were in the South, and you're in Lansing, Michigan right now, what does music mean to you? Because being in Music City in Nashville, it's, and I want people to understand this. Nashville, Tennessee, and Brentwood, Green Hills, even Gallatin, there's a lot of stuff happening there. Unless you've gone there, you don't really know that. And it is busier than Vegas. I want to make that clear. I started saying that in 2018. It really is. And Howard could tell you because he's been there in his entire life. So he's seen the growth of everything. But when it comes to music, what does music mean to you? And then have you been to Tennessee yet?
I have not been to Tennessee. It is one of the places that I do want to visit in the future. But music means to me that I can get everything that I've been through in life out to the world. And so everybody hears my music so it can be like, oh my God, I can't believe that you've been through that before. Because when I look up to my idols like Kehlani or Chris Brown and Keisha Cole, I'm like, they have helped me go through everything that I've been through. So music means to me that I could just get that out into the world and let everybody know that they're not alone. Mm-hmm. Especially when it comes to celebrities.
Mike, I'm coming to you in a minute. So Terry, talk about this. You weren't able to get to Tennessee this time. When you first went to Nashville and you got a chance to see Danielle Bloom and Morelia, and you look beautiful, by the way. I love what you're wearing. What was your first impression of going there? Because it's grown a lot since we were last there.
Well, Nashville is always fun. I mean, the first time we went is when we did our show with Jimmy. That was the first time.
And I had stayed up on a red eye, and I went right to film that morning with Victoria, but it was awesome. And I was able to go to the last two women in film events. I did the panel last year. I was really bummed I couldn't go this year, but I just had family stuff, so I couldn't go. But music to me is healing. It's motivating. As a fitness person, I use it to motivate my fitness routines. In business, I listened to it before I have a sales meeting. I'm wearing my work clothes, Brian. That's why I was meeting with clients today, so that's why I was a little late, but I'm here. And what else do you want to know, Brian?
No, you started to talk about what music feels like for you.
Oh, well, it's a motivator. It helps me get through depression. It helps me stay on track. Sometimes the words can mean different things to different people. In songs, you can interpret them how you want to. That's why it's such a great art form. I wish that I could sing. That's one gift I do not have, and I don't sing. So.
And when it comes to Mike Wagner, Mike, you're all about music. You're all about doing voiceovers. I tell people all the time about you, what you're doing in North Dakota. You've been one of those veterans for 30 plus years, and I love that. And then I think you have your wife next to you, right?
Yes, that's right. Well, today is that I'm currently under construction right now. I'm working on some modifications we speak here. So it seems like this is a ritual for me every single time. So I'm working on reconstructing. It's going to be better. And by the way, you can still go to the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can support us on PayPal, paypal.me/Mike Wagner voiceover. Well, today I'm going to introduce my wife, Serena. And Serena, tell us all about you. And you grew up near Tennessee, but almost next door to Tennessee. And you've also got a book to talk about as well, too. So I'm going to give the spotlight to Serena for today. But, I'll check in later as well. So go ahead, Serena. Everybody say hi.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hey, my husband was saying I was going to be sharing a book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did he tell you about it?
He told me a little bit about it.
Okay. It's called The Sweet Psalmist. And I don't know if you can see it good enough. This one's a hard copy.
Yep.
And it's about the life of David in the Bible. And it starts from when he is a shepherd boy. And it's got the old paintings. Let me see. Try to get it up here. Mm-hmm. Old paintings in each chapter about each of the subjects. There's 30 chapters just going through his whole life. And it has the Psalms with it. And it's very enjoyable to learn and grow.
So, Nancy, it goes back to being that author. And how long did it take you to write your book, Nancy?
38 years.
And why was that?
Well, I had a handicapped child I had to take care of for 20 years. And life and the usual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she also had we had a handicapped child. His name was Stephen. He was born with severe hearing loss. He had some defects in just about everything. And we know what it's all about, the challenges of a handicapped child. And Serena can tell about it. And you kind of had that problem too.
Yes.
Yeah, I have trouble with fatigue syndrome. Never diagnosed, but I feel it, And so I've been working as I could work and taking breaks. I just haven't. It took me a long time to do it myself. What would you say? How many years?
I think I lost count after a while.
Okay. My kids were little then, and now they're all grown and out of the house. We have 4 kids.
It goes back to that. Like I said, it goes back to that point where you never know how long it's going to take someone to write a book. And I stopped telling Terry about it, but Terry's book in her future podcast show will be interesting because it is about helping people, mental health, things that people go through, whether it's depression, anxiety, things like that. Because a lot of our friends go through these things like that. I don't have that, but I talk to people about that every day, so I can identify what they probably go through. And sometimes you just have to sit and listen, and that's what the best that we can do. And when it goes back into music again, Yelly, this is why music is good, isn't it?
Yes, it's a beautiful thing.
It lifts up the spirits.
Yes.
Absolutely. Talk about how you started, Yelly, and why.
Oh my gosh, I love this. I love this question. Since I was about I want to say 5 years old, my dad had his own studio in Lansing, Michigan, and he used to do music. He didn't really get that big, but he used to travel to Texas and Georgia and everything for his music. But I have a song about candy when I was 6 years old. And ever since then, I guess he was just like, oh, my little girl can sing. And he's been just making sure that I was on it ever since then. But recently, I found myself writing better and going through more things so I could put my emotions into it. So I just put myself out there and was like, everybody just listen to this, because I know I'm not the only person going through that, as I explained before. So it's like, I've been really loving music my whole life, no matter what, singing my heart out in the shower, in the car, everything.
With the story with David, the sweet psalmist, well, it's titled The Sweet Psalmist and then David afterward. You find it on Amazon. But throughout it, the Psalms are sung. And he would play his harp or whatever, and there would be music with it. So the Psalms were sung so they were in song. Sometimes he's starting out in desperation, and then it turns around where he can see that God could help him in his troubles or whatever. So
Interesting.
Definitely a beautiful thing, especially when it comes to talking about.
Absolutely. Hey, Mike, talk about music, because you play a lot of music when it comes to kind of like your day jobs when you're not talking about sports, right?
Well, pretty much music and sports is pretty much my life, which explains why I'm a sports producer, where you just play music between games and everything else, and getting about getting in the radio and everything. I mean, there's this myth that you just ham a tape, walk up to a mic, and hey, you're on the air. It doesn't work that way. Brian, you and I had this discussion about it earlier too, and it's just a word to the wise that there's always a back door to it. There's promotions. There's, getting coffee for the general manager. And I got in just by doing sports and playing ads. And then you start working with, they like you after basketball season, football season, baseball season. Then you get into a weekend shift, and later just progresses into a regular shift. So basically with the music nowadays, it's like artists are just trying to get in, and they're trying to break through the glass ceiling. And so with my show, it's like I expose all these artists out there to really what's going on out there, the pulse of it. And there are some artists that are actually making a comeback too. Yeah. And I think there was, I'm trying to think, there was Bruce Blackman from Starbuck. If anybody remembers the song Moonlight Feels Right from 1974, he's been making a comeback with his own music. And then Dean Friedman had some music out last year talking about America. He was known for Ariel in the United States, and in Canada, of all places, I'm in love with a McDonald's girl, lyric sung by the Bare Naked Ladies. So people like that who've been in the spotlight are making a comeback, and they're doing it not just through networks. They're doing it through podcasts. No matter how big or small. So music is penetrating into many areas in the industry.
So Howard, when it comes to music, you're that music guy. You like to dance. You're fashionable. What does music do for you? When you were a little kid, you loved music, but look where you are right now.
Well, we had a rec room when I was little, and of course, Elvis was my idol. So when my parents threw parties, they would have me come up there and come shake like Elvis. So I get up there and entertain their guests by dancing. So that's why I dance alone a lot of times. I'm always up to getting in front of everybody and get that party started. So
well, let's talk about this look.
Doesn't bother me one bit.
Now, this is one of the jackets that he had, Terry and Mike and Yelly, but he also, look what he's holding in his hand, Nancy's book. And it was fascinating because
my goodness. Howard, I want that jacket.
You have to call Be Unique. It's one of a kind jackets, and she's the fashion designer, and she can get you one or make you one special. In fact, she's making me a Dolly Parton jacket as we speak.
Oh, that's
Oh,
going to be a good
nice,
one.
nice.
Yeah. So
So this was on the little panel that we had, and it was fun because Howard came late. He had to go do his taxes with his wife, and I said, Howard, I need to have you there. So when he comes in before, so Terry, when he comes in, because Terry's usually with me, I said, Howard, don't even bother sit down. Just come up here and let's talk about stuff, because Howard's been with us for a year now, so this is his time to shine. So you see, he's wearing another jacket, and I have the unique LED lights from Movie Reviews and More that they made for me. And then Nancy goes, what am I doing up here? I'm like, Nancy, this is going to be your first panel that you speak on, because now you're going to start speaking worldwide on different things. So Nancy, what did that feel like being on that stage?
Well, it was a little intimidating because I didn't really know what I was supposed to say. You gave me absolutely no clue. I wanted to get ready and write something down, and you just said you would not give me enough information. So I guess you did that on purpose. So I sat there and tried to sound like I knew what I was talking about. It was kidding. And it was, but then once you get started and you start talking and you realize that I realize that I do know what I'm talking about, then it's a lot easier.
Terry, remember when we did our first panel there in 2018? 2019. It was fun. That was fun for you. It was empowering. It was me, you, and Katarina. What was that like for you?
It was probably my first panel, so it was exciting and scary at the same time. It's it's an honor to be up there, but then sometimes, you're like, I can feel like, because of the stuff that I've been through, that I can help other people, that makes sense. But, it's such an honor, but it's scary until it's over with, and then you want to do it again.
So Howard, you being up there for the first time, before we get to this pitch, talk about that for you, and then we're going to go back to that photo in the yellow. We're coming back to you in a minute.
Oh, I tell you, when you go up there and you just tell the truth, I'm more comfortable. So I don't mind not knowing what the question is, because I'll get nervous. I'm prepared. So I just talk off the top of my head like I would talk to you, like you were sitting in my living room. Mm-hmm. So you just get comfortable with it. The more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be.
And it's small and intimate, and I like that. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. Howard, you're my guy. I got to say that.
Why is that?
Because if you try to prepare, you're going to stumble. I tell people all the time, don't even prepare answers. It's like having a conversation. Get ready for some curveballs. You're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I used to hang out with Dolly Parton, and Dolly Parton tells the truth all the time, and she has the same story. So after a while, you've been asked every question there is, and you know what your answer is going to be. You just got to get to that point.
Hey, have you done any interviews yet on any panels or anything yet, talking about your career and your music yet?
No, I have not.
Ah, welcome. You never know what your future's going to be with us, probably.
I did.
Well, talk about this. Talk about your look. You have a very unique, interesting look. Who does your hair? Who does your makeup? Because I want to know.
Me. I do all of it.
Talk about that.
I've really been doing makeup since I've got high school. I've seen my sister. She's 27 now. I've seen that when she was in high school, that I used to just like take her makeup palettes and take her clothes, even my mom too, and just play dress up. And I just began to become better at like years and years. Maybe a god at it. I don't want to toot my own horn or everything, but I really love doing my own makeup. It would be easier if I did have sometimes, but I feel like I know my face, I know my body and everything, so I do love doing my own makeup and hair, and I have a lot of people who ask me to do theirs too. So. And
that's helpful, because Terry will come to me at a thing and I'm busy running around, and she goes, "How do I look?" And I go, "Give me a minute," because I'm I'm not focused on her yet as I'm doing all the stuff behind the scenes. Terry, you should have seen I was driving all over Nashville, not knowing where I was going, picking up people, dropping them off, which was quite interesting. I'll tell you that story soon. So, Rebel, let's take a look at this photo, because this photo, I like this photo. And so, got to thank Mike for coming. He had no idea why he was coming to Tennessee. Nancy had no idea where she was coming. But Mike Wagner, this is about promotion. And when it's about promoting people, you do what it takes to do that. And look, so you see Howard wearing the jacket number 3. So Nancy, talk about this photo. What does this photo mean to you when you see it now?
What is what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
What's this photo mean to you when you see it now?
Well, it means a wonderful time. It means a time where I felt like I was with family and that I could be myself and that people were really listening to me and interested in my book and interested in me in my wanting to make it into a mini series. And I learned so much. You realize how ignorant you really are when you open your mind and your ears and listen to people around you who've been doing what you want to do.
And Howard?
You can't do it on your own. You have to have help, and that's what the whole convention's about. So,
and look at this jacket number 4, Mike. Look at this one. All right, so I actually put this one on.
I'm going to open this one here. Well, right. Actually, she can say what you think.
It looks good.
And of course, look at she's wearing too. So check that out. She even made her own dress too.
Well, the screen's too high. We can't see my shirt. So, but I like that.
I like that color. I like that. Hey Howard, talk about that jacket because Terry, I tried that jacket on. I actually liked it, and then Howard put it down. He goes, "That's my jacket." I said, "I was just trying it, Howard."
That's another Be Unique jacket. This is the one I wore in the fashion show. So actually, she had a brown one, and I said, "No, I like the blue one better." I'll trade with another model. So we traded jacket. He looked better in the one I was designated for, and I took his because I love it. So.
And this one, I forgot what this lady's name was, but I love this. Terry, I actually wanted to wear that. That was one of Manuel's.
Yeah, Manuel did that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So when it comes to things like this, also Patricia Leonard, Terry, you remember her. She was the moderator for the I think this was a screenwriter. Everything was small and intimate this year. And I actually liked it because you got a chance to talk to people. And then, so Nancy, what did you think about that young lady that was next to you?
Well, I thought it was amazing. And it's so different because she writes screenplays and is trying to figure out how to make it into a book. And I write a book. I can't imagine making it into a screenplay. So it was interesting, dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And she even turned it into an opera, remember?
That's right. Oh, yes, she did.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be something else to change it to music from the words.
Exactly. Well,
and then, all right, so jacket number 6. Howard, I forgot how many jackets that you had. So this was interesting. So we had Tanya Hawley, Edie's cousin. So she's related to Elvis. And she runs Muscle Skulls. Mike, you will let that. Muscle Skulls in Alabama. She owns that studio. And she's one of our good friends.
Cousin.
Exactly.
Another Elvis cousin.
Another one.
And she's just wonderful with all the stuff they're doing. So Yelly, are you an Elvis Presley fan? What do you know about Elvis?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no.
I know that he is a really big star. I think he's more famous than Michael Jackson. Am I wrong?
He sold the most albums overall in general.
He's called the King.
Yes.
Okay.
King of rock.
And she's a huge Elvis fan too, by the way.
Are you?
Lilo and Stitch kind of put me onto Elvis too. But maybe I should do my research more on where music came from, because did I listen to his music per se?
Yeah, I guarantee you've heard it. You may not always know.
Yes, I definitely heard it. Yes.
If you get a chance, see the movie Elvis from last year.
Okay, and I definitely will, and I will follow up on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I'm being in the new Elvis documentary coming out. I got a little part in that. So,
oh, really?
Nice.
What are you going to be doing? Which jacket are you going to wear, Howard?
I forgot which one I had on, but I think I had a sparkly jacket on. But I tell the story about my father's manager was Colonel Parker before Elvis. And Eddie Arnold got mad at everyone and fired him except for my father. And when he fired Elvis, he gave him $35,000 severance pay. And with that money, he bought Elvis's contract. So this shows you, no matter what happens in life, even the hard times might be the best times.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, so this was funny to me. This was hilarious, Terry. There were, so Howard will say, let's do something to Tom Jones. So Nancy gets into the spirit, and Mike's like, "What am I doing here?" It was hilarious. Talk about that,
was pretty
Howard.
cool. I like that.
You have to show the video. You have to show the video.
I couldn't share it today. I was running out of time, and I couldn't send it to her email. So, but talk about it. That's why I put the picture up.
Well, Nancy and we were doing, Tom Jones kind of swings his hips and does his hand to the music. And I was watching some Tom Jones videos. And if he starts off slow, you see what he's doing. And then as he gets into a faster song, he just kind of moves faster to it. And I was trying to teach Nancy how to do it. And she was going opposite from what I was. And then finally we got in sync. And, it just takes a little practice. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for being gracious.
So, LA Bikini, since she popped up, I'm going to talk about her. So, I found Lauren Robertson. I might have a photo of her, maybe there. But it's what I liked about her. We were talking about LA Bikini. So Terry, girls, you'll like this. Unlike a traditional Brazilian, LA Bikini uses a specific formulated sugar paste to remove unwanted body hair. Now this is fascinating because she's become one of our sponsors. She's a really nice girl. She was helping out Edie with all the stuff that she's doing, but she had her thing there. So Terry, Yellen, Nancy, Mike's wife, when it comes to pure and natural ingredients, leads to permanent reduction in hair growth, won't burn your skin, very important, only sticks to your hair, not your skin. We know that's important, right, Terry? You can extract much shorter hair, doesn't break the hairs, more sanitary, and you can repeat the treatment in as soon as 5 days. So I'm going to have her coming out pretty soon. And so she didn't know I was going to talk about this, but since she popped her head up, this is what it is. And if you want to reach out to her, because she's going to be soon, this is her card.
Awesome.
If you can see it.
Nice.
So, Mike, talk about this. Talk about what's been happening with the Mike Wagner show. What's been happening with your voiceovers? Who you have coming up? Because I was telling Nancy Potter about you in Tennessee.
Well, actually, I wish I was in Tennessee right now, but West Virginia is almost heaven as well too. And Serena grew up in there, so right now it's under construction and working on renovating. But you can also still listen to Mike Wagner's show on Facebook, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, iTunes, and also BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, and now I'm looking to get back in as well too. And I have to look up and see who I had. So it's been a while, but I am going to be getting back before the month is over, and I am also going to be improving. And I got new sponsors coming up, and she's also my next sponsor as well too, along with quite a few others. Yes, and she's going to be getting some attention. So we got to show her some love today as well too. So
hey, I congratulate her because she's an author. Terry and we haven't written a book yet. Howard, he's written one book, I think, but Howard's going to have another one follow up, and it's probably going to be on dancing and music or his lifestyle. No. All right, what's it going to be on, Howard?
Huh? I'm not going to do another book. It takes way too much time to do it.
Actually, you can speak into a book. It's like you got recordings up there and software. You can just speak and it just writes a book for you.
I got to put it. It's going to be good, or I'm not going to do it.
And talk about this. You also wanted to be. You're into dental hygiene. Talk about that. You didn't think I knew that, did you?
I didn't. I did not think that you were going to ask that question. But my mom is an orthodontist. So I did not know what career path that I wanted to take while going to school. And I am in school currently for dental hygiene. Actually taking my prerequisites right now. But that's what I'm in school for, to be successful. And if it's not music, that's plan B. I see my mom work on teeth for years. So I'm I fascinated. I love teeth so much that when I'm here, I'm like, this isn't right about my teeth, or I need to fix this about my teeth, or ooh, this person can fix that about their teeth. I think that that's a great career and a plan B to pick because I love it so much.
And then Terry, talk about this. You just entered into a new career yourself. Talk about what you're doing now.
It's not a new career. I'm doing the same.
It is a new career. It's not your same old job. Stop. You're working with sports teams now. What does Mike Wagner do? Sports. Talk about it, Terry.
Well, actually, I work with orthopedics and physical therapists and trainers to help them with injuries. Actually, I work with one of the top manufacturers of bracing and support and cold therapy. But I've been in orthopedics for 7 years. I just transferred from software to the DME product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So our other book we got to talk about, Edie Hand's book, My Southern Mom. So Terry, you know who she is. You've met her. We love Edie and what she does. Women of True Grit. So Nancy, you saw that Sunday. Howard, you were there too. Talk about the experience of seeing what Edie does as a 4-time cancer survivor and Women of True Grit book. Nancy, you go first.
Well, I just couldn't believe anyone could have cancer 4 times and survive. That was Edie. That was amazing. I guess amazing's not really the right word. It's not big enough. But and that she'd written this book about women who'd had especially difficult lives and how they managed to get through it, survive, and soar afterwards. And it was just amazing. The stories were sometimes unbelievable, and especially, I won't say especially. I think it's the kind of book that everyone, or at least every woman for sure, needs to have on their bedside to read when they're feeling bad.
Howard?
I found it very emotional.
Yes.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I was
Absolutely.
one of the few guys in the audience, and I had my little handkerchief trying to hold back the tears that I was feeling, because I just get emotional over it. Because there's a lot of women that were being abused, women was being held hostage.
Mm-hmm.
The one story that Edie told, she knew Phyllis Diller. And I thought that was very interesting, because she told the story that she met Phyllis Diller. She went to her home. And when she met Phyllis Diller, she was breaking into a comedian. She was living in her car with 5 kids and a handicapped husband in a car. And she was doing comedy at night. And this guy kept sitting in the back of the audience. And finally he said, Miss Diller. He gave him the card. It was Bob Hope. And Bob Hope gave her her launch to make Phyllis Diller who she is today. And in her mansion, she's got a picture of Bob Hope. And she's told Edie that she kissed the picture every night, because without Bob Hope, she would not be who she became. So, I mean, the fact that you could go from living in I can't even imagine living in with 5 kids and a handicapped husband. I mean, it's hard enough to be with your kids in a room, much less confined to a car. And to be the breadwinner in the family by being the comedian. But she was one of my favorites, and she well deserved what she got. But stories like that, where you can be nothing one minute and a star the next, is just amazing.
Yeah.
But the other women in the podcast they had also amazing stories of really being abused or neglected, and just rising above that and owning their own business, becoming successful, enjoying life. Just a complete turnaround from what they had before.
It was really emotional.
It was very emotional.
It hit me too. You know, it's Terry was there when we did a show with her in 2018. That interview has 1.3 million views and counting on that we did with her. Still going. So these girls, Terry, you're going to meet them when we go to Knoxville, Tennessee. Yes, by the way, you're going to Knoxville, Tennessee next year, Terry.
Okay.
In case you didn't get the memo. So the one in the white dress, Sunshine, really nice girl. She just walked into the rooms. We were doing round robins of getting to know the product. So I was one of the judges for that. And then they got a chance to tell the story of what they want to do. These 3 girls are starting Women in Film and Television in Knoxville, Tennessee, sometime next year. So I'm working on them with the date. And with that, that'll be underneath Women in Film and Television here for Nashville, Tennessee, that Linda Evgen runs. So it's one of these things. We got to talk about this. I was going to show this book, but we got to talk about this Swift Summit. If you get a chance, Yelly, this is something that you should join. Women in Film and Television, Southern Women in Film and Television. It's about music, songwriting, films, TVs, producers, everything like that. Howard, what was your take on that? Because you went last year when we met you to
Oh
where
my
it is this
God.
year.
I mean, it's a learning experience, it's a networking experience, and it's a lot of fun. So, I mean, I can't explain how uplifting and how, what's the word I'm looking for? Motivative it will make you. And you learn that you can't do it by yourself. You need a team of people to make you. And you'll learn how to do that. So.
And Terry, your experience of last year when it was at Carlock Motors.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, the award show was fantastic. Everybody was dressed to the nines. We got to the pictures in the Bentleys.
You
We
got a
had
great photo that I took of you in that
we had
Bentley.
great photos. Yes. We had a great dinner. Yeah. I mean, I'm really bummed I didn't get to go this year. So.
And then Yellen, since you haven't been to Tennessee yet, to Nashville, this is something that you should come to next year. And feel free to reach out to Mike Wagner. I'd love to have you two come next year too, because you always need new blood to come into things like that and meet all kinds of things like that, especially you being in the music world and being and stuff like that.
We've been wanting to go to Tennessee for quite some time too.
Mike, say that again. Hold on, Howard. Mike, say that again.
We've been wanting to go to Tennessee for quite some time, and then get on over to West Virginia. We talked about going over to Dolly World, and of course before that we hit Music City too, and check out Grand Ole Opry, and I'll see if I can get on maybe on WSM in Nashville for about a week. I'm gonna try for that. If I get on WSM Nashville for a week and be DJ, I'd accomplish my career.
And Howard, you were going to say something?
I said, let's see what I was going to say. Tell me again what you just asked him, and I'll think of the question again. I'm sorry.
Of going there.
I forgot.
Think about it. Come back. Nancy, talk about your first time being there. What was that like for you?
Well, I was amazed at how quickly and easily people took me in as a stranger, and I'm not from Nashville. I'm from Houston, and that people that were there were really willing to share and really wanted to help. I remember when I did was it quick pitches or whatever they called them, the 5-minute pitches, that I got some really good feedback that's very helpful in what I was doing right and doing wrong from just this woman who was a director and a producer and all these other things, and who took the time out to sit and really listen to me. And so that was just one example of how accepting it was and how helpful it was.
Howard?
I know what I was going to say. Half the people there were from California.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're all moving. Yeah, so you get a chance to go to Nashville. There's a lot of people coming here for stuff. It'll be very, very interesting for your career. Where is your career right now, would you say?
I would say that it's in like specifically Dallas, Texas, Detroit, Mississippi, Lansing, Orlando, Florida, and that might be, but I wrong as well.
You were starting to go in and out a little bit, but I got the gist of what you were talking about. And then, so Terry, you would have loved this one. So Nancy, this is Dale Smith Thomas.
Yeah.
Wonderful person. I'm reading her book now, and I like what she has to say. Just gorgeous, internationally speaker. She was Miss Tennessee. It was good to see her
Mrs.
there.
America too.
Exactly.
Mrs.
Very, very friendly. Just again, very, very friendly. Very nice. I was thinking of Terry the whole time as she gave me the book. Terry, I have her info. She's going to be on one of our future shows. Howard, talk about that, because did you get a chance to meet her?
I did, absolutely. I mean, she was one of those that was abused and became, well, actually, her story was one of the most interesting. She had grew up very poor, and her mother had wanted her to take piano lessons at this lady's house down the street, another young girl that was in a car accident, and she was handicapped. And that young girl was, she said she's going to walk, and she became a Miss America in time, got over all her situations, and she actually helped her become a Miss America. And through that, then she became a Miss America. So she kind of had a leader or a sponsor to lead her the way to what she wanted to do. So,
And then with that, she became an internationally inspirational speaker too. She's very,
exactly.
very great. Nancy, you meeting her? I think like we might even have a photo with you and Mike with her. I'm not sure. I think we do. Talk about
I
that.
don't remember. There's so many pictures. I can't remember.
Don't worry. I'm getting through them all still. I'm putting them up.
To tear up the bad ones, please.
No. Terry doesn't want me to show the bad ones. Nancy, talk about meeting her. What was that like for you?
I'm sorry, meeting Dale.
Yeah, and the reason why her name is Dale because her father wanted a son. So What
a way to start your life. Name for a. I'm the last of 5 girls, and I always have known they were hoping I was a boy, no matter what they told me. We didn't think you were a boy. We had 4 girls. We knew we were having another girl. I said, that's just anyway. So poor Dale, male name. I didn't know who she was. She got up and spoke extemporaneously, just talking and telling these stories. And she was so well spoken and pretty, and she seemed to have such a heart. And you could feel the emotion in her. She wasn't crying like Howard. Just kidding, Howard. But just feel the emotion in her voice that she really meant what she was saying. And I thought that was amazing. And she got down and she said, I didn't think about what I was going to say before I said it today. I thought, wow, I'd like to get there.
Mm-hmm. And you will. And so will Terry, because Terry's becoming a woman of true grit also. We got about 5 minutes. So, Howard, talk about this. We went to Nashville Film Festival last week. Talk about Gloria Gaynor. Mike knows who this is. Yellen may talk about that documentary. So I'm trying to get a link so people can see it. It's excellent.
Gloria Gaynor was an amazing. She had an accident when she was earlier and fell over a speaker and messed up her back. And for about 20 years, she was hunched over. And then she had an operation and was able to stand straight. She also had an abusive husband that kind of kept her down. After she got her back straight, she turned 80 years old. She divorced her husband, and she's reinventing her life. And she's doing gospel music. And I personally am not a big gospel fan, but the music that I heard her doing was amazing.
Excellent. It's beautiful.
She used a lot of local talent from Nashville that I did not know that corresponded with her or blended well with her voice. It was uplifting. It was tunes that you knew but done differently. And I can't wait till that gospel album comes out because it's very uplifting and very not your traditional gospel music.
Yellen, you know of Gloria Gaynor? You've heard her music, I Will Survive?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, you're kidding me.
See?
Don't be afraid and petrified.
This is...
yes.
So when you get a chance,
Google
when we end, type in I Will Survive, Gloria Gaynor. You know it.
Oh,
And
I haven't.
But you will. I guarantee you've heard it. You just don't know the name. And that's why these documentaries are great. That's why we talk about them, every week, because you just never know what's going on with things like that. A good documentary never goes away. Mike, when you hear I Will Survive, did you know it's in the Library of Congress now? And that worldwide when Disco died, not because of her, when they started burning albums in Chicago and Wrigley Field, she had to go to Europe every week to perform. Every weekend she was going. Her husband, who was her manager, was doing that. Yella, could you imagine going to Europe every weekend to perform?
I'll tell you one thing. That's pretty nice to do. It's like, I wish I could do that. Go to Europe, and of course they had that disco revolution. But I was in Milwaukee with my cousin at the time, and of course, I wish it was at Wrigley Fields. It's like the Cubs were terrible, but having a Comiskey Park had more room. I had a lot of people say, "Oh, it was a great event," and it's like, man, I wish I would have given them some. But nowadays, it's like they're worth a lot of money. I'm glad they did not get burned and such. But I remember that day, except I was further north at the time. So you should go.
That's what killed a lot of their careers. So her fan base was in Europe. But when people go through cancer or abuse, what do they say? I will survive. So that song has become iconic, and that's why I want to get my hands on this documentary so people can see it. But it does come out next February 13th, and I'm not sure if it's on National Public TV or regular PBS, but they do have distribution. But it's really, really good. It's worth seeing again. So we got about 4 minutes. So Howard, give your social media links, what you're wearing, and what room you're in.
Yeah, Howard Wiggins. This is my guest bedroom. My clothes are my clothes. What can I say? Nothing special. It's just the way I put it together. So,
and talk about doing that fashion show. Talk about doing that fashion show because you were that star.
Listen, I want to do every fashion show I can because I eat that stuff up.
He was great.
Well, and then I like to dance. I watched it again. Morelia was giving the fashion show. She said my name about 5 times. Thank you, Morelia. And she didn't mention anybody else. She said, he'll steal the show. That's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to steal the show.
And he did. Mike Wagner and your wife, give your social media links and talk about your book real quick again.
Serena, talk about your book first.
Okay. Well, it's about...
Tell them the website and where
they can get it.
Okay, that would be on Amazon. And you would look for That Sweet Psalmist David by Serena Wagner. And it's got the old paintings. It's hard to show them on the screen now.
It's on Amazon.com. Look for The Sweet Psalmist, Serena Wagner, and check out The Mike Wagner Show at www.themikewagnershow.com. Click on any podcast platform, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, BitChute, Rumble, and catch any of the podcasts out there. And Howard, I'll definitely get you on. Brian, you've been on my show, and to get all you ladies on as well, too. Hit me up on Messenger. Send me a message, and I'll make sure you get on. Howard, I did not forget about you, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
Terry Marie.
Terry Marie Nonstop on all platforms and terrymarieofficial.com.
Yelly.
Yelly Parker. My Instagram is OMERTA Omerta Yelly.
And talk about one of your songs real quick.
I just put on a show on last Friday, so go listen to that on all platforms.
Nancy
Sing
Potter.
a little bit.
Yeah, yes. Give us something real quick.
Okay.
Go for it.
Acapella, real quick.
Okay. Couldn't be a fool. I could play you twice. Have you asking what's my price? Buy me everything nice. That's the show. Yay.
Nancy Potter.
NancyPotterAuthor.com is my website. Nancy Potter Author on social media.
And where did they get your book?
Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Barber's Cut by Nancy Potter.
And I always say this. I want to thank everybody for being on this show this week. Nancy from Houston, Texas. Howard from Nashville, Tennessee. Terry from California. Yelly from Michigan. Mike Wagner from, is it South Dakota, Mike?
Bismarck, North Dakota, but you're close, though.
I don't want to piss anybody off.
That's okay. I want you to come to Dakota sometime, guys. I'll meet you there.
Oh, I am gonna go. I gotta see the Lakotas. But here's the thing: I always say this: have a good night tonight, a better day tomorrow. You see, when someone without a smile, please give them one of yours. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More, and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Just let you talk.